Hello people, this is Ryder here with the review of the Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger DX Mosa Changer. So, obviously this is the changer of Russo Gold, to which obviously it's just vastly different from the Ryusoulgers. This includes two Russos, is it just the Russo Gold Russo? Or the Mosa? And the Beer Russo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the Mosa Russo. Or just the Russo Gold Russo. Gold Russo. Just, showing gold with the BB Soul. And then here's a team shot again with the BB Soul. And then just showing both modes. And then all the basic functionality of the toy. To which obviously this is our first Ryusoulger product, so obviously this also gives us a good glimpse at the design of the boxes. Alright, so here we have the muscle breaker and its contents on the box. Obviously we get the two corresponding Ryusouls, which we will take a look at later. Obviously right now we will take a look at the muscle breaker, the Mosa Changer itself. So obviously as opposed to the core Ryusoulgers, Russo Gold has a gun. Which, sure, that's knightly. However, I really like the design of it overall. I just really like this deep blue. That's the base that's getting whitewashed. And then just, I really like the gold paint that's mostly around the toy. And there's very faint white. This is the only white on the toy, which I find kind of weird. I kind of wish there was more white. The barrel is black for the most part. And it just feels really nice in the hand overall. It's a really nice, like, simple handgun and such. And again, it's supposed to be based off of a Mosasaurus, so obviously we get its fins and the Ryusoulger logo right there on both sides. But other than that, it's kind of mostly plain in color. And here we have the battery compartment. It requires two AAA batteries. On and off switch right here. I kind of wish everything wasn't just plastered here. And then this is actually kind of difficult to like show on camera, surprisingly. I think it's just due to how this is lit. But hopefully if you can actually see it from somewhere. There is an eye. Yeah, you can only see like its reflection, but there is an eye. I just kind of wish it was shown a lot better. But other than that, obviously you can press the trigger and then you can turn the visor around where it's just struggling. Maybe ISO does have to get dropped down to 100, but I do like they still carry the visor gimmick. It's, it's basically just switching heads. I just kind of wish you were actually able to see the eye. But other than that, it's not really much to it. So if you were to switch it on back here like so, obviously there's no lights, it's only sounds. To which this toy is actually pretty interesting because like the speaker placement is probably the most like ambiguous, because it's not actually easy to point it out, but it's basically around this it's hidden around this section, which is pretty interesting. That keeps flipping, but basically you just get basic firing sounds. So you can either shoot singly, or if you hold down the trigger, you can hold on to the fire. Not yet. Because if you were to actually pump the head, you get a blast. However, just kind of like the Go Careful Go Arrow and the Gashcon Parablade gun, you can actually pump this up to 10 times to actually get that amount of shots. So if I were to do 4 and hold down the trigger, it will shoot 4 times. However, sometimes out of random, if you were to pump the head, the Mosa Changer is going to sneeze. Which does count. So well, that was our 5th one, but if we were to do... Basically, that's 10, but we would do it until he sneezes again. So yeah, and then, obviously as you can tell too, this is a completely different voice from the Ryusoulger stuff, which I really appreciate. It's technically the first time they've done this for Sentai. You can turn the visor, but just like the Mosa Changer sneezing when you pump that in, if you were to turn the visor, sometimes it thinks you're pumping it when you're turning it, and you can pump it either way. But if you were to turn the visor, you get that sound, which is pretty neat. But that's basically it for the Mosa Changer itself, so let's take a look at the Ryusouls. I have a feeling it might fall on top of me, but I don't know, because I feel like I at least need some white. Anyways, here's the gold Ryusoul, which is the core change Ryusoul for Ryusoul Gold. So obviously it's in its, what is this mode? Dinosaur, like Kishiryu mode? I don't know. But as you can see here from the pin set, this is B007. And as you can see from here, it uses a similar pin system like the Yokai Metals, or more familiar Toku sense, the Guts Hyper keys from Ultraman Trigger. And then to activate it into night mode, you simply press the button on the lower left, and then it becomes a full-on night. Which I really do like how this is resembling a Russo Gold, like with the helmet right here, like the blue here, really like the shield sticker, and just how the sword is and such. And when you flip it to the back, I just really like how they just handled this overall and such. Other than that, there's not really much to it. Obviously, you can use this to slot into Kishiryu Neptune as the helmet's back there. That's at least pretty neat. So, moving on, here is our other Ryusoul. Actually, no, this is our other Ryusoul, the BUB Ryusoul. So this is the second Ryusoul to ever be released, besides the Marimaro Soul. This one's pretty interesting because it's fully yellow and has translucent yellow. Obviously, this one's BB, which is lightning and such. And then when we turn it around, this one's really hard to see because of how yellow it is, but this one is B054. And then when we activate it in night mode, this one sadly, like from here, this one's pretty basic. It still has a gold paint. I always appreciate there is paint here and on the chest, but you can tell like this one's using the mold of the simpler Ryusouls, meaning that this one is actually the only one that doesn't have a mech head because it has the generic night one. So this is the only Ryusoul that actually doesn't have a designated helmet and such. But I mean, it's still my favorite of the Kishiryu Souls. And just to point this out too, obviously because it's a Kishiryu Soul, it actually does have the feet completely covered, unlike typical Ryu Souls. So yeah. So to struggle to frame this, obviously to transform to Russo Gold, you want to take your Gold Russo and activate it into night mode, and then you want to slot the Russo in this respective slot like so, and make sure this is actually in frame. So you get that activation sound, but nothing happens until you turn the Mosa head to the visor. So the transformation standby will start, and to complete it, just press the trigger. So now we're transformed to Russo Gold, and our firing sounds are actually changed, because like what I accidentally said before, now you can actually hold on to the trigger to do continuous firing. However, you're limited, so to reload your firing, just simply pump the head. And then, like, you know, you can fire however you want, so you can just do singular presses. Or you can do a mix until you have to reload again. And then to eject the rear soul smartly, you just simply press the back of the tail and pull it out. Because now we can go evolve rear soul gold by using the BB soul, and then simply sliding it in like so. To which you have to be careful because of the fact when you insert a Kishiryu soul, you enter this phase, to which the Mosasaurus fins lift up, and then you get this standby, to which you want to pump this up to 4 times. And then you get this standby, to which you complete by firing, pressing the trigger. So now we have transformed Russo Gold into his BB armor. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure it's just still BB Soul. I don't remember. Which now, when you press the trigger, you get lightning sounds. And this one, you're not limited. You can just, like, you can hold the trigger and you can continuously shoot lightning. And then when you pump the Mosasaurus head, you get like one like giant blast. Even when you hold the trigger. So nothing new. And that's basically it. So to reset the entire thing, just flip the visor, split these apart, and hold them down and eject the Russo. Like so. And just to show, obviously this thing does not have a reader, because if I were to insert this first, this is doing a lot better than the demo. As you can see, it's not jumping straight to the Kishiryu Soul stuff, because I had to flip the visor. And then just to show that this doesn't flip up the fins, if we were to use the Gold Russo. as you can see, it's already getting into that. And just to show how this is not like the Russo Ken, where it actually does it on, like, where the audio overlays, it kind of cuts in. I hope you were able to hear that, because this toy's pretty loud. Yeah, actually, I'm probably going to keep them in night mode. I'm just going to probably keep it like this. But yeah, you know, obviously, just wanted to show that, obviously, because it is a 6-member changer, it doesn't, it's kind of 50-50 whether or not it will actually read the gimmick. But overall, just this toy by itself, I really like it. Like I said before, I really like the design of the changer. I really do like Russo Gold, and just I think it does a good job at like carrying the same gimmicks, the same functionality that the Ryusoulgers have, but like basically putting it into one and such, because it still has a resemblance of the visor flipping and the like dinosaur chomping. I just like how that's substituted in for just turning the head and then pumping the head. I just think those are like fantastic substitutions. And I just like the sounds and the voice of it here more than the traditional Ryusoulger stuff. I guess getting into like the Russo's or Russo compatibility, I don't really mind that it doesn't read them, because I think the sounds are good enough. I think the only gripe there is the Kishiryu Soul compatibility, just because of the fact, because it's already pre-programmed for BB, because Russo Gold at least used one other Kishiryu Soul, the Kuriyami Kishiryu Soul. Obviously, when you use that in here, it's not gonna know it's that one, because it's just gonna do lightning sounds. It's not gonna do black hole sounds. So it would have been interesting if there was a way, if they would have been able to incorporate Kishiryu Soul specific sounds, like if I were to put in Mera, there were just fire sounds, or Doshin, like just punching sounds, or something like that. Like, I think that would have been cool, but I get it. There's no point of like making the reader functional if it's only just going to be basically reading the Kishiryu Souls and the Gold Russo. Like, it's already, like, the Russo changer is already generic enough. I don't think they want to implement that reader into here. And obviously, you're going to see it a lot in the demo, and you saw it here too. My only gripe about it is just the looseness of the fins. These fins really like popping up a lot. The back one is not bad. The front one really likes coming up. And again, luckily for this review, the fins did come up together whenever they were supposed to. Sometimes, like in the demo, they just don't. Like, I feel like it's the angle you like have the Mosa Changer in, and just how quick you put in the Russo. And speaking of that, just to quickly go over this, basically, as you can see, any pin. So this thing only has one pin, and then basically, the Kishiryu Soul, with that flat end, will press this section to flip those fins up and such. So that's just basically how this works. Which, again, I don't think it's bad. You can find this thing cheap in the aftermarket. I got mine for like about $20 off of Mandarake, which I think is probably the perfect price for it. You can find these Russos elsewhere, obviously, I think this is in Candy Toy 3. This, like, obviously they technically make it so this is technically exclusive to this, just because obviously with how Ryusoulger handled its releases, they obviously were kind of smart and we're just like, hey, we're gonna make, for red and gold, we're gonna make 3 versions, and each one does something different. So this is technically your only way of getting this notch pattern of Russo Gold, because if you were to get the Candy Toy one, that's obviously a different notch, which is why I want to get it. And obviously, Kishiryu Neptune has a different Russo Gold Russo, so that's how they get you. But obviously, I like Russo Gold a lot, so I'll just say I recommend this overall and such. And obviously, this isn't even it, because there is still one more thing we have to cover. This is 20 minutes long. That's sad. Now to do this review, this is Ryder, and I'll leave people. Bye.